Yeah, Ellen's our first child. We've been trying for about 5 years before we managed to conceive her.
We had been told that it was unlikely we were going to conceive, so Ellen was a bit of a shock.
It was terrifying, exciting, disbelief. Got my boss to have a look at the test for me because I couldn't believe that I was actually pregnant after all this time. It was a Friday night. My mum and dad had come down to London for the weekend, and that night going to bed I had a loss, which turned out to be the start of dilation. I was in hospital at Barnet for a few days when they put the stitch in. Then I got home for a day, straight back in with another heavy bleed, and I was then in hospital. No one actually said this is a high-risk pregnancy or you are going to have a premature baby. It was, we'll see how we get on. There was never any definite answers to anything. No one ever explained just how serious the problem was going to be.
I'd left Sarah about 9:30 to come home. She was in bed resting in the hospital.
Whilst he was on the train on the way home, I texted him to say that the pain was worse and the bleeding was worse and could he come back.
I was driving back in and the phone rang again. I've had a baby. You're a dad, it's a little girl.
He almost crashed the car, but he got in and he came straight to see how I was. And then we had to wait, I think it was nearly 2 hours before they'd let me go downstairs and see her.
And that was the first time you started to deal with the idea that she was going to be early.
I know there's mums in much worse cases. I know there's a couple of days before they've been able to see their babies, but this was about me and my baby, and I wanted to be there. I wanted to hold her. I didn't know anything about Tommys until after I'd actually had Ellen, which is when I rang the helpline. And then there's this woman on the other end of the phone saying, everything you're going through is perfectly normal. And all of a sudden there's this big weight off your shoulders, you're relieved, you're normal. I felt because I couldn't that I wasn't in the room with the person, I was never going to meet this person, I could be completely honest about all the silly little fears I had, and I wasn't going to look stupid. I'd never have to see her again, I'd never have to speak to her again, but I'd have my questions answered, and at least I'd know the truth then.
And I know that Sarah looked all these things up through Tommys for a couple, then Bliss for quite a few, for all the premature illness type things, and I know it calmed her down a lot.
The very first incubator that Ellen got put in was supplied by Bliss. Without that, she would have been a lot longer in hospital.
Once you leave hospital, you've got the baby at home. We came home with oxygen. You've got a health visitor that you see maybe once a week or once a fortnight, and that's it. It's gone. So that's when the Bliss, definitely Sarah got really involved with the Bliss forums and just and created herself a sort of a home support network.
Oh, I think it's a wonderful service, and I think everyone that needs it has access to it. It should be standard that the number is there when you get into hospital. Part of the booking in with the midwife even, because it is so helpful.
It takes Ellen about 3 weeks to get over a cold, but it seems to take every premature baby about 3 weeks to get over a cold. We wouldn't have known that, and so we'd have been extra worried.
Without the support from Bliss and Tommys, I would be a complete physical wreck by now. I would be neurotic. I would have my daughter at the hospital pretty much every day without the support I've got.
Being supported just makes Ellen's life better because she's got less stressed out mum and dad.
They say having a baby changes your life, and they're absolutely right, it does. I just think ours has changed that little bit more.